Good morning, everybody. So I've got Basti here on the chat with us, which is really great. We love a Basti. And you've got me today, Kat, and sadly Cliff's not very well, so we'll do a nice class all together. We're still in the late summer season, so we're going to be thinking about grounding and nourishing ourselves because it's coming up to harvest time. So as well as all the food that's been growing abundantly all year round for us to eat, it's also kind of harvest time for ourselves, for what's happened in the year so far. Now we can kind of reap what we've sown and really enjoy everything that's happened and settled, so we can have a good summer. Lovely. Oh, hello everybody. It's great to see so many people on and from all over the place. So welcome. Yes,
I'll head off and leave you to get on with the class, and I'll monitor the chat.
yes, and I'll see you later, Basti. Thank you. That's great. So we'll be connecting with the stomach and the spleen meridians, and I've got the wonderful point of the week. So I've found out from Cliff what was the next one on the journey on the stomach meridian. So we'll tune in to those meridians and points a little bit later. But what we'll do first is the usual. I'm going to make the poll go live, so bear with me a second. And we're just going to find out how you're doing or how you're coping. So I'll share that. Go, phew, I found the button. So just seeing how you're all doing. Okay, it's a little bit mixed. Generally okay, well, neutral, and there's a few of you a bit stressed. Hopefully in the next hour we can help everyone kind of get more neutral, okay, and perhaps a little more in the well zone. If you do feel like things are a little bit overwhelmed, please email the centre and hopefully we can help support you a little bit more if the Wednesday class isn't quite enough. Great. So the next poll we're going to do in a moment is choosing which burning space we'd like to work on the most today. Obviously, we'll work on all of them, but tuning in a little bit more to one than the other. So actually, before we sit down and scan into the burning spaces, let's come up to standing and we're just going to shake out. I feel like, well, for myself, hopefully you're all feeling okay. I feel like I've not quite arrived this morning. So if we come up to standing and we come into a parallel, and you can hold on to a wall or a chair if you need to, and we're just going to pad through the feet, toes to heel, allowing the arms to relax, checking in with the head and the neck, allowing the knees to be soft and the ankles to be soft, checking out the jaw, releasing that, really padding into the ground. Lovely. And then settling the feet so they're spreading nicely into the ground and taking a sway from side to side, just gently shifting the weight. And it can be small, it doesn't have to be huge like mine. So releasing that, seeing what needs to shift and let go. And then finding a nice neutral in the center, kind of imagining we're a pendulum that's just found this effortless way of hanging towards the ground. We're going to shift our weight into a 1 foot and we're going to allow the toes to shake. So really shaking out the foot. Oh, you can make a sound, not forgetting to breathe. Releasing the toes. Might want to change the angle of the leg. And into the ankle, really shaking out the ankle, into the calf and the knee, and into the thigh. You're going to give that a nice wobble and shake around. If it's getting a little bit much, please rest the foot on the floor. You can also allow the heel on the floor, softening this supporting leg and rocking. See if you can release the thigh muscle on the leg and into the hip. And then shaking out the leg. You might want to do some swings to release the hip. Oh, lovely. And then coming back to a parallel. And we're going to, again, shift the weight. Oh, my leg feels much open and wide and big. So I'm going to shift the weight into the leg that we just worked. And gently shaking out, releasing the toes so the connective tissue and fascia can release. Shaking the toes, might want to change the angle into the ankle and the lower leg and into the knee and the thigh. Same thing here. We can allow this to soften on the supporting leg and rocking the heel from side to side. Checking our shoulders are dropped and the jaw's released. Great, and then swinging a little bit the leg as well, releasing the hip and pelvis. And then coming back to a nice parallel, so padding the feet back to a parallel. Checking in, and we're going to just come and shake the hands. Releasing the fingers and the palms. I imagine a bit like cooked spaghetti, so everything's loose. Doesn't matter what it looks like. You might want to try a different angle on the hands. Releasing the thumbs like this into the forearms and the elbows. Yeah, who cares what we look like? We're going to feel great. And into the upper arms and the shoulders. You might want to soften the knees a little bit. And then the same thing. So we're just going to gently release the arms. So they slowly wind down, just like a pendulum, gently, gently slowing down. Great. So now we've settled a little. We can stay standing if that feels good, or if you wish to sit on a chair or the floor. We're just going to tune into the burning spaces. So I'm going to stay standing for the moment, but please get comfortable sitting. So we're just going to close our eyes if that feels okay. Just taking a moment to settle into the ground, into the earth. So even if you're sitting on a chair, we can connect our feet into the ground, or if you're sitting on the floor, imagining the pelvis is like your feet and you can really root down into the ground and get earthed. Just going to take one hand and place it on the chest area, on the upper chest. And just tuning in, just noticing what's going on here. Perhaps you can notice something on a physical level, or perhaps it's emotional, or on the mind, a lot of thoughts. Perhaps you can feel a little connection to the cosmos and everything that's out there. So just noticing what's going on, tuning into the upper burner. And then just taking a little snapshot of what that feels like. Just an essence of, maybe it's a word or a feeling or a colour. Great. So once you've got that, just release the hand and save that thought for a little while. We'll come back to it. And then we'll tune into the middle burner, so just above the belly button and where the underneath of the ribs sit, placing a hand here. Same thing, just noticing, not changing anything at all, just noticing. Perhaps it's a physical feeling or any kind of feeling on the spiritual, emotional, or mind. So just taking a little snapshot, a word, a feeling, maybe a colour or sound. And just noticing what that is, capturing it, and then we'll just gently release the hand. And then we'll do the same with the lower burner. So I'm going just below the belly button and before the pubic bone on the dantian, our centre, drawing our focus down onto the lower burner. And we're just going to check in here. Same thing, so you can have your eyes closed if that's easier. Noticing what it feels like. We're not worrying about what meridian's what right now, just noticing what's going on where we're connecting with the hand. So taking that snapshot, whether it be a colour, a word or a sensation. Great. And then gently we're releasing the hand and opening the eyes if you've had them closed. And what I forgot to mention is if you do have some pen and paper, now's the time to get it, or you might just want to rethink the sensations connecting in with the 3 burners. So we don't necessarily have to draw it or write it. So I'm going to have a little go with mine this morning. So if you do have pen and paper, or you just want to think again of the 3 areas, we'll do that now. And it can be one picture, or you might want to split your paper up into 3. So just noticing and reminding ourselves what they felt like. Great. So I'll show you my funny scribbles. I've got not a bad upper burner actually. It feels quite spacious and nice. I think I'm going to work on my middle burner. It's a little tight and kind of pinched like this, if that was to make a noise. And my lower burner feels pretty good, nice and solid, but there's a little bit of tension there, kind of in the middle. So I'm now going to set the poll, if I can find it, of which burner you would like to connect with. So bear with me whilst I find the, here we are, the poll. So hopefully that's gone. Yeah, there we are. Great. Oh wow, it's all shifting about quite quickly. So far, the middle burner's getting quite far ahead actually. Yes. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so obviously everybody who's got lower or upper burner, we will work on these as well. Everything that we do works on all 3, but I will tune in a little bit more with the middle burner. And for those of you who felt a bit stressed or feeling like kind of okay but not super great, working with the middle burner is going to be really great for releasing any stress or tension in the body. And we've got a really lovely point of the week later on the stomach meridian, and it is on the abdomen, and it's really great for digestive issues, for releasing stress and any constipation as well. So really allowing things to draw downwards so we can get grounded again into the earth. So let's come back up to standing if that feels good for you. And we're going to connect in a little bit first with, coming back up to standing, we're going to connect in with the lower burner first. So we're drawing the energy, so we're making space in the lower burner. So as we open up the middle burner, things can really drop down and things are ready to settle for us today. So taking the hands, the palms together and rubbing them, we're going to create some Qi and Qi. Nice and warm. Let's come and place the hands onto the dantian. So that lovely area just below the belly button, both hands. And we're going to draw the energy in where the hands are and imagining it's going through the belly and drawing all the way through the back of the body. So we can take some breaths here. So as we breathe in, imagine we're breathing this gorgeous, I always imagine like a golden colour to some energy, and it's pouring down and going right deep down into our dantian, into our kidney area, where we can really store some lovely essence and energy. It's kind of reboosting the batteries. And as we breathe out, imagining the breath pouring down the arms and into the hands. So we're making this nice circle of energy. So we'll do a few of these together. You can do this sitting as well. So breathing in through the nose. This golden light pouring down, deep down into the belly and into the back. And as you breathe out, sending it down through the arms, into the palm, through the belly, the dantian, and sending it to the back. If you wish, you can place a hand on the back as well, if that feels okay, or both on the belly. So continue at your own rhythm with your breath. Don't worry if the breath's a little high. It's gently going to release. We don't need to force anything at all. But breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Take a couple more breaths together, allowing this golden energy to draw down and sink down into the deepest part of our being to energize us and nourish us. Lovely. And then just coming back to a bit more of a natural breath, we're going to circle the hands round the hara. So we're going to go right hip up to the right ribs, across and then down to the left. So this is the way our digestive system works. So we're helping this movement in the digestive system, which wonderfully connects with the earth. Excuse my top, keep riding up. With the earth and the stomach and spleen meridians. So you go at your own pace. You might want to go a little faster. It's completely up to you. Gently drawing round the digestive system. And then we'll make that circle a little smaller. So we're going to spiral all the way back. And instead of the dantian, let's connect our hands to our navel, placing them on the top of the belly button, connecting to our spleen in the hara diagnosis area. The belly button is the spleen diagnostic area. So connecting in with the navel, allowing the shoulders to release and the head and neck to relax as well. And we're connecting in with the feet on the ground. Lovely. And then we can allow the arms to release as well. So we're gently sending energy to the lower burner. Now we can concentrate a little bit more on the middle burner before we come to the upper burner. So if you are sitting, you can come up to standing. And if you're standing, you're great, you're ready. And how is it just to go a little bit wider with the feet? If it's a little bit uncomfortable on the sacrum, you can allow your toes to just gently turn out a little bit. If it's okay, it's great to draw them in to a lovely, strong parallel. Great. So this center that we've just worked on and given loads of energy to, and breath and Qi, we're going to imagine that it's like a lighthouse shining out this gorgeous, gorgeous light. So allowing the pelvis, I'll turn sideways so you can see. Sometimes there's a tendency for this to happen. So just allowing the tailbone to draw down. We'll have soft knees and ankles. That's great. And then from here, we've done it a lot of times, you know it very well. We're going to turn into the double weighted swings. But imagining that we are a lighthouse and keeping the legs really grounded. So I'm going to keep the knees facing forward. And to start with, I'll allow my hands to come around the belly button so I can really feel the movement starting from the belly. A strong lighthouse shining out some gorgeous light, golden light across the seas. There's a bit of movement in the pelvis that can happen, but we want to keep this gorgeous space between the legs so we stay nicely supported from the earth. So from here, now we can release the arms and let the spine join in. So allowing the side movements to be whatever rhythm feels good for you. You might want to go a little bit slower, but we want the spine to really just go with the movement from the hara. And the arms are just following as well. And the gaze can join in if that feels good too. Soft knees, feet are spreading. And if you'd like to, take it a little further round, taking a bit more of a sideways squeeze, wringing out our middle burner, so we're connecting a little bit more with the liver and gallbladder. If it's a little bit much and you feel sick or dizzy, go a little bit slower, and if it's really too much, come to sitting or lying down. But gently squeezing out the middle burner, drawing the breath downwards. Lovely. So as we keep swinging from side to side, whatever rhythm works best for you, I'm going to allow the front arm that swings round the front to come up to the shoulder, which is up to the lung 1 on the chest. So we'll keep swinging. So I'll just demonstrate quickly. So I'm going to allow the front arm that wraps round just to come up and gently tap the front on lung 1 as we swing. So the back arm stays low and the front one comes up to lung 1 on the chest. I'll just do a few of these and then coming back to the swing with the arms by the side. Take a rest at any point that you need to. If you're still swinging, perhaps wiggle the fingers as well as they go from side to side. And then once more, we'll bring the arm at the front up to lung 1, really allowing the arms to be loose, that feeling of cooked spaghetti. So we get a nice tap. So it sounds loud, but it's really not hard, I promise. That's great. And then from here, releasing back down, Side swings, and the same thing again. We're going to gently unwind. Let this movement ebb away like a swinging pendulum, gently coming to a stillness, taking your time with it, letting things really settle. So even though the arms and shoulders are starting to be quiet, the center's still gently moving from side to side, that lovely lighthouse. Great. And once it's still, we'll step the feet so you can shake the legs out a bit. And stepping the feet into a parallel. So we'll come back to the middle burner again in a bit, but I'd like to work on the upper burner to really see if we can unbind the chest. So if there is some stress or tension with the breath being quite high, we can really allow it to drop and open, unbinding the chest so things can really sink down into this lower burner that we've prepared to receive loads of energy. So we're going to come to some tapping and starting with kind of fingertips on the chest. Gently tapping, allowing the wrists to be really loose around the chest area. Great. And you might want to come to the top of the shoulders. If it's a bit uncomfortable to reach like this, hold one elbow with the opposite hand, and you can use a loose fist or tap with the fingertips from the neck, drawing out to the tip of the shoulder. Not forgetting to breathe, reminding myself as well. And then swapping sides to the other shoulder, tapping along the chest. You might want to drop a little lower, kind of imagining we have this sweetheart line like on a prom dress. Yeah, guys, you can wear those as well, so don't you worry, we're going for the nice heart shape along the top. So being a little gentle here with fingertips rather than a loose fist. And then coming to the other shoulder, so taking the elbow for support, tapping from the neck along to the tip of the shoulder, fingertips or a loose fist on the top of the shoulder. Keeping the feet nice and spread in the ground. And then coming back to the chest again. Here you might want to do a bit of a Tarzan, a bit more of loose fists into lung one, allowing the breath. You might find a yawn or a cough that's gently opening and releasing the channel, allowing that true Qi to draw in. And then fingertips again, slightly lower on the chest area. And then gently tapping down the sternum with the fingertips, being a little more gentle. And then coming to just underneath the ribs where the top of the hara is, gently tapping. And perhaps coming to the sides of the ribs. You might want to do the opposite side if this is a bit sore on the shoulders. Do what feels right for you. Gently tapping. Great, and then we'll come back to the top. We're going to extend one arm out. We're going to go down towards the thumb and then back up from the index finger to the shoulder. And we'll do it a few times and see what feels good for you. You might want to use fingertips. You might want to use the loose fist from lung one, really opening the palm and sending the fingers down towards the earth. So whatever is being released can really be free and get out of your arm, so we're not closing off, releasing the palm as well. You might want to have an open palm and tap onto the skin, coming down to the lung on the thumb, turning the palm over, coming up the index finger, fingertips or palm. You might want to use a loose fist. Round to the top of the shoulder, and we're going to go back down. So doing this a couple of times on this arm. Great, and then once we're at the top, we're going to shift back over the chest. We're going to draw the other arm out, allowing the hand and the palm to open, tapping into lump one. We're going to go down the arm towards the thumb. Turning the palm over and up the index fingers, our large intestine. Letting go of what we don't need. Eliminating. And then back down again. Lovely. And then coming back to the chest again. And then brushing off, so we can brush down the arms. Brushing the chest and the ribs. Our cells like to be touched, so let's not forget to do that. And the back of the sacrum, super. So to continue the tapping and connecting a bit more with the stomach and spleen, we'll go down the legs. So we're going to tap down the stomach meridian. So that's slightly on the front of, it's on the front of the leg, but slightly to the outside. So here's my kneecap. The stomach meridian goes down all the way to the second toe, and the spleen comes from the big toe, front aspect of the leg, but we're going to go on the inside, around the other side of the knee, up to the pelvis. So it's like train tracks down the front of the legs. So keeping the knees soft, feet nice and spread. You can use fingertips or palms. I'll turn sideways. So we want to release the pelvis, allow the knees to soften, head and neck to release, all the way down. If you can't get to your feet, don't you worry. You can place a foot on the chair and tap the leg this way. Or really imagining that you're going down to your feet. So tapping down the outside of the front of the leg and through the insteps here, up the front of the leg. Just do that once more. Same thing, excuse my hair, it's everywhere this morning. So releasing round the pelvis, especially in the front, in the hip flexors. I want to give them a nice brush off. Super. Hopefully you're all doing all right. I think Basti's got the questions in the chat. Yes, that's super. So from here, I'd really like to share with you, I don't know if some of you have done it before, but a Makaho stretch connecting with the middle burners. We'll do two. We're going to do the stomach and spleen and also the liver and gallbladder. And I'm going to show it in a way that we can use props and modifications. So because there's if there's any tension in the middle burner, sometimes really going through it can agitate, or it can be a bit of a strong stretch, particularly in the morning. But see how you go. We're all sensible and intelligent human beings, so just going to get a little prop there so we can really look after ourselves. So I'm going to come to sitting on the floor, and you might want a blanket and bolster, or we can do these on the chair. we can open up the front of the legs. I actually show the full modification standing. So if it's comfortable to, you can sit with the legs out. It's quite a strong one on the knees and the pelvis connecting into the ground. And we're connecting here with the stomach and the spleen. This is a little bit too much. You can get a bolster or a cushion and sit on the top of it and keeping the knees a little bit more parallel. Okay, so I'll show from here. And all we're going to do is draw the pelvis down towards the ground, rooting in. Allow breath to draw in and down to the belly. And all we're going to do is first gently lift, and we are going to tuck the pelvis. So we're sending the pubic bone and the tailbone under. And you can gently place, if that feels okay, hands behind you. And keeping the face forwards. So we don't break any lines or tension in the neck. Really allowing space in the shoulders. Don't want to collapse here. Lovely. Taking a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to walk the hands back. And then we're going to lift the pelvis to untuck it and come back up to sitting. So I'll show that once without the bolster, and then I'll show the standing modification as well. So coming again to sitting upright, allowing the pelvis to really root down into the ground. Breathing in and drawing that lovely energy downwards. And as we breathe out, we're going to tuck the pelvis under. I like to lift myself up to tuck. And then walking the hands out behind you. You might, if it feels okay, to drop to the elbows, but keeping the face forward so we don't strain the neck. Taking a breath here and keeping the shoulders nice and wide and open so we're not contracting in our lung meridian. And then on the next out breath, we're going to walk the hands back. So if you're sitting on a cushion, we're still walking the hands back. And we're going to lift the pelvis to untuck it. And taking a breath. So, please undo the legs. So we're going to come forward and you can untuck and come to sitting. If you want to do that once more with me whilst I do the modification, please feel free to. So if that's a little bit strong on the knees and the ankles, don't you worry. We've got a nice way of connecting into the front of the legs and opening up the stomach and spleen meridian. And you can hold the wall or a chair. We're going to shift the weight into one leg and catch the front of the ankle and drawing the knee down towards the earth so we don't have the leg out or forward. If that's a bit much, you can also get like a belt or a dressing gown loop or scarf and catch the foot so you can hold it with some support. So drawing the knee down, and all we're going to do is gently draw the knee towards the bum, but allowing the tailbone to drop down so we're not overextending here in the spine. And we're gently opening the front of the body up here and then releasing. And we can do the same the other side. So this one's really great for connecting with the stomach and spleen meridian. And then releasing that. Great. So if we're still sitting, let's shift into a liver and gallbladder. So coming to sit, you can also use, I'm going to sit on a blanket this morning. I think I've got another, oh yeah, we're good. So sitting on a blanket or a cushion, really piling yourself up. The original traditional Makaho stretch for liver and gallbladder is with the legs out in second, but I really like to extend one leg and fold the other one in. And same thing here, If it's a little bit much on the hip, the leg that's folded in, we're going to allow a cushion underneath as well. So we're really supported and releasing the pelvis into the ground. So from here, I've got my right leg out and I'm going to allow my left arm to just gently float up to the sky. And as we breathe in, we're drawing the pelvis to root down into the ground, and I'm going to turn towards the arm that's up in the air. And I'm going to wrap my other hand around my ribs. And as I breathe out again, just going to gently pour over. We don't have to go far at all. Gently opening up the side of the body. Taking another breath. And then as we breathe out again, we're going to come back up to sitting and then undo the twist and release the arm. We're not going far, we're not really going for it. We want to make sure everything's smooth and easy. So same thing again. And you can play with the feet, see if you want to engage with the toes, how that feels on the leg. So floating the left arm up if the right leg's extended or the other way around. Wrapping the other arm round the ribs. And as we breathe out, we're going to turn towards the arm that's lifted towards the sky. Taking an in-breath as you breathe out, just gently pouring over. We don't have to go far at all. Certainly don't want your head on the knee, unless that feels good for you this morning and it's comfortable. Gently, gently pouring over, being kind to yourselves. Only going as far as is comfortable. And then on the next out breath, coming back up to sitting and undoing the twist and allowing the arm to float back down. And then we'll swap over. So I'm going to move the bolster. I will show a variation to open up the side of the ribs if it's difficult on the pelvis. So same thing here, really supporting the leg. I've got my pelvis supported with the pile of blankets. I'm activating the feet. And I'm going to float my right arm up because I've got my left leg extended, wrapping my arms around the ribs, breathing in. And as we breathe out, turning towards the arm that's lifted, taking another breath, and then gently leaning over, pouring over that leg. Really not going very far on this side. I think this one's a bit tight for me today, but that's okay. That's completely okay. I also need to remember to be kind to myself too. And then on the next out breath, coming back up to sitting, and then undoing the twist and releasing the arm. So let's do that once more on this side. So breathing in, allowing the arm to float up, right arm up, left leg out, wrapping the other hand around the ribs. And as you breathe out, we're going to twist towards the arm that's up in the sky, taking an in-breath, and as we breathe out, gently pouring over. Feel this sense that the pelvis is really dropping into the ground. And then breathing out, coming back up to sitting and undoing the twist and releasing the arm. So undoing the legs, and you can sit comfortably, or if you want to join in with the modification, you can as well. So if there's any problems in the pelvis, in the knees, or the lower back where that position feels very difficult, I like to come and stand against the wall. And we're placing the arms either side of our bodies and allowing the pelvis to draw down again, so the tailbone draws down and the belly button can kind of kiss the vertebrae at the back. That's great. And we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe out, we're just gently allowing one hand to slide down the legs. The feet are grounded and spreading into the earth. Taking a breath here and then breathing out again to come back up. We'll do the other side. Breathing in and breathing out, sliding down the leg, if it feels okay, you can also extend this arm. And then coming back up. So do it once again on each side. And only going as far as is comfortable. So even if it's here and opening the shoulder, that's great. So I hope those feel okay for you. So what we're going to do now is come to sitting, and I'm going to, hopefully I've got some slides ready for you, and we're going to connect in with the point of the week. So if you've been sitting for a bit or you've tried the standing, come and get comfortable, and I will find the slides for us. Oh, there it is. Here we are. So I nicked these slides off of a course that I did with Cliff back in May and June, Meridian Yoga and connecting with the earth element on one of the Tuesday webinars. And this, don't worry if this is all a bit wordy and a bit like, oh my God, what's that? Don't worry. We're going to look at the bottom box because our point of the week is stomach 25 on our abdomen. So it's great for regulating the digestive system. So if you're constipated or feeling probably too much going on in the mind as well, it's really great for releasing and unbinding things like that. Where's the next slide? Oh yeah. Here I will, please excuse me, it's got more points on than I remembered. This is the one that we want. So stomach 25 is next to the belly button. And then we've also got spleen 15. And I don't know if Cliff's done this point yet, but I thought we'll connect with both today. And it's an amazing point, particularly to look at yourself and to give some energy to and release this area as well. So if we get really comfortable, you might want to sit cross-legged. So we're going to find our belly buttons and then just a little way out. So kind of, I've kind of gone 2 fingers. So if I place my index finger just next to my belly button, and then the stomach 25 for me is on the middle finger. So it's just a little way out from the belly button. And if you have your hands splayed, I'll take the slide off in a minute so you can see, you can connect with spleen 15 as well, which is a little way off. So if you have a wonderful 6-pack, which I do not, you can feel on the abdomen muscles on the front. So there's a bit of a raised part on the abdomen muscles, and it's on the outside aspect of this. So thinking from the belly button, we want to kind of go a little wider to connect with spleen 15. So I'll just take this slide off. So I'll show you what I'm up to here. So I'll come up to standing and come a little bit closer. So my belly button's about here. And then I'm going to connect belly button, index finger, and then middle finger's connecting to stomach 25 here. And if I place my 4th and 5th finger into the abdomen, I'm now on our spleen 15 as well. And we want to connect here, so we're not pressing hard, we're just gently allowing the fingertips to connect to the belly. If it feels tight and tender, be really gentle. Really want to release these points. And you can work your way across, so you can allow the fingers to move across the belly and coming back again. So you can do this sitting. Really gently pouring some lovely energy into the abdomen. So a lot of the time for most of us, when we get stressed, it tends to hit the digestive system and the stomach channel first. And a lot of migraines tend to start in the stomach as well. So if there's anyone with headaches and migraines that are connected with stress, it's probably begun in the stomach area. So we're gently massaging this part out and connecting the points on the abdomen. Great. Lovely. So from here, we're going to come down the legs. So if you are sitting, you can release the legs out, or if you're on the chair, which I'm going to do actually. So if you're on the floor, you can extend the legs out in front of you. So from here, gently pressing into the point. And we're going to place the palms on the front of the pelvis, and we're going to gently lean the weight in. Palms are nice and spread, palming down the front of the legs towards the knees. So we're releasing from the belly, allowing the breath to be neutral and hopefully a little bit deeper, all the way down to the knee. Let's do that once more. So pressing into the front of the pelvis, into the hips. You can use your thumbs if that feels good. And down the front of the legs. And then if you're sitting on the floor, you can draw one leg in, or on a chair. So I'm just going to cross the leg over. I'm going to continue down from the knee, going down the front aspect, gently pressing, sending some lovely energy all the way down to the front of the ankle, to the top of the foot, to the toes, big toe and the second toe. Let's do that once more, all the way down, front of the ankle to the toes. Great. Oh, and whilst we're here, let's give our foot a really nice touch and manipulation. So we're just gently pressing, squeezing around the foot, opening up the toes. You might want to give each toe a wiggle. So I'm holding one hand on the ankle and manipulating the foot with the other. So pressing into the sole of the foot and into the ankle. So you can take the heel and give that a circle as well. And seeing which way the foot can move. Perhaps it's sideways, flexing and pointing. Great. And then whilst we're here, our wonderful kidney 1 point. So just below the ball of the foot. I'm sure you know this point really well now if you've been on all the classes already. So in between the big toe and the second toe in, right in the center there. And you can use the thumbs or fingers, pressing nicely into this point, a bubbling spring, so we can allow this gorgeous energy up through the feet, from the ground, and receiving this energy from the feet. Hopefully you can walk about and feel a lot nicer for the rest of your day. Great, and releasing that leg, and we'll do the same with the other. So if you're sitting on the floor, drawing the leg in, or on a chair, I'm going to cross the leg, and then pressing from the knee at the front, down the front of the shin, pressing down, all the way down to the front of the ankle, into the top of the foot, to the toes. We'll do this once more, pressing down, drawing the energy to the earth. And the same thing here, we'll manipulate this foot, creating space in the foot, releasing tension. Not forgetting our toes, so you can give each toe a nice wiggle from where it's attached all the way to the end of the toe. And seeing which direction the foot would like to move in, sideways, flexing and pointing. Not forgetting the heel. And then we'll come and find a lovely kidney 1 point here on the sole of the foot and giving that some attention on the other foot. Okay, and releasing that. Lovely. So I'm just going to check in on the time. I think we're doing all right. Woo, just on time. So I'll just move the chair out of the way. And we're going to come back up to standing if that feels okay. And we're just going to check in. I'm going to take my glasses off. Check in, back in with ourselves. And just before we do that, let's just take some swings and shakes. So allowing your body to move in whatever way feels good. You might want to release the arms, the pelvis, being free with your movement, seeing what feels good today. Might be rocking forward and back, releasing, not having any inhibitions, doesn't really matter what we're doing. Feels great to be free and to release the body in whatever way feels great this morning. Not forgetting the head and neck. Might want to release that forward. Maybe shaking, so release the face and the jaw. Lovely. And then padding the feet into the ground, connecting that gorgeous kidney 1 point and allowing the earth energy to be received back for us. Great. And just allowing yourselves to settle. If you want, you can close your eyes. And if that feels good and you want to place the hands on the dantian, so just below the belly button, allowing the shoulders to release and melt down the ribs at the back. Head and neck have relaxed as well, and the head can gently float up towards the sky. Just going to do a scan from the top of the head all the way down towards the feet before we wrap up the session this morning. Not forgetting to breathe. We're just going to focus on the area just a little bit above our heads. And we're just noticing how it is. We're not changing anything. We're not judging anything. We're just noticing. And then drawing the energy towards the top of the head, focusing on how this area feels this morning. Down onto the skull, the back of the head, the side of the head, the ears. How do they feel? Just noticing what's going on. Down onto the face, brain, eyeballs, tongue. Down to the spine, back of the neck, throat. Onto the shoulder girdle, front and back. Across the scapula and the collarbones. We'll go down the arms, so round the shoulders, Just noticing what's going on, drawing down the upper arms into the elbows, the forearms, wrists, hands, fingers. Just noticing. And then coming back up to the chest, the ribs, the spine, lungs and heart. Drawing down round the ribs, the diaphragm, sternum, down to the belly area where all our organs are, connecting with the kidneys at the back and the spine, drawing down and noticing how the lower back feels into the pelvis and all the guts in the pelvic bowl and the pelvis. Simply noticing. Then drawing down the legs, the femur bones, these gorgeous long bones, into the flesh, into the knees, noticing how the lower legs feel, bones, tissue, skin, ankles, into the heels and the feet, the toes and the balls of the foot. Then we're going to just gently connect with the space a little bit below the feet. So the ground or connecting to the space just below you. And then we can let that go. Can release the hands from the belly, gently opening the eyes, not the hands, the eyes. And then we'll come back to sitting, taking your time to come back to sitting. We're way over. I'm really sorry about that, everybody. 2 minutes over. So I'm going to say thank you very much for coming and joining this morning. And we'll see, hopefully Cliff will be back with us next week. If not, it will be one of us to give you a lovely session for the rest of your week. I hope everybody's feeling a lot calmer and a lot less stressed. Please contact us if you have any questions. Thank you very much, Basti, for coming in on the chat. I think there's some questions going on and probably some feedback too, but that's great. Oh, I'm glad you don't mind the extra 2 minutes. That's lovely. Have a lovely day and we'll see you soon. Oh, there's Basti. Here he is. I'll wait for Basti to come in. Is he there? Maybe? Anyway, I'll finish the session, but thank you very much, everybody, and see you soon. Bye-bye.